What is going on, Pats Nation? It's Patriots Global here, back with another video. We got, of course, another draft profile to break down. We got a little bit of an analysis to get to with the Patriots' second selection in the 2021 NFL Draft. So, Barmore was selected very early in the second round. We are talking about just getting out of the first round. They ended up selecting Christian Barmore, defensive tackle out of Alabama. Of course, that's the second Alabama player that they've taken in a row in the 2021 draft, but 38th overall. Now, obviously, the Patriots don't own that pick. So the trade details of this is that they traded with the Cincinnati Bengals, and they traded a bit of a haul. Now, I've seen some people say that they traded up too much. I've seen some people say that Patriots fans need to, stop complaining and that it really wasn't that bad. But the New England Patriots traded 2 fourth-round picks. On top of that, of course, they also got the Patriots' second-round pick. The Patriots owned 46th overall. So essentially, the Patriots traded up 8 spots in the second round, and in return, they had to give up 2 of their fourth rounders. Ultimately, I do believe that they gave up a little bit too much, especially when you look at some of the other trades that did occur. I think there's other routes they could have gone. I definitely think Cincinnati got a very good haul for this trade just to move down 8 spots. But then again, I don't think Belichick, necessarily cared all too much, because let's remember they do need to compile and compress some of these draft picks that they have. They had 10 going into this draft. They didn't trade up in the first round. So obviously they still had 9 picks going into day 2 of the draft. Now, of course, they kind of compress some of those picks by getting rid of 2 fourth rounders. Now, I do kind of wish they were able to go in another direction, just because there's other moves that Pats could have made with trading up or even trading back to compile some of these picks. But again, you have to remember that the higher up you are trading, the more you're going to have to give up. Again, let's remember, this was high. This was high into the second round. This was just getting out of the first round. So, you're going to have to give up a bit. In the end, though, this is the first trade that the Patriots have made. So far, this is the only trade that the New England Patriots have made so far. Tomorrow we'll be going into rounds 4 to 7. We'll have to see what they do. I'd imagine that they'd make some trades, but a little bit surprising that this is the only one they've made, and I think it's a little bit telling on how they view Christian Barmore. Now, Christian Barmore is a steal for the New England Patriots. Barmore is the best, underline that word, the best interior defensive lineman in this entire draft. This is a very, very weak interior defensive line class, a weak defensive tackle class for the 2021 draft class. Next year is just supposed to be better, but not a good one for this year. Now, there were times that I had the Patriots drafting Christian Barmore 15th overall in my mock drafts, but the times that I didn't, I still had Christian Barmore going later in the first round. In fact, pretty much everyone did. He was a first-round talent, a first-round player. And although maybe he shouldn't have been taken at 15, he definitely should have been selected, later in the first. So straight off the bat, within a nutshell, the Patriots get and take off the board the best defensive tackle in this draft class. Now, like I said, he is coming out of Alabama, Nick Saban being his head coach. Belichick, of course, very familiar with him. Belichick and Nick Saban, very, very close, very good friends. So I'm sure Saban told Belichick about Christian Barmore. And when Barmore slipped that far into the second, Belichick was like, yeah, I got to jump on this, because I was not expecting Barmore to get to this point. And this is a steal. There's no way he's going to be by us at 46. Interesting fact, Christian Barmore actually said that, his favorite team actually was the Patriots because of dominance. He said Alabama was his favorite college because of dominance, and the Patriots are the NFL's Alabama. And for those of you who have been asking Bill Belichick to draft a true defensive tackle for years, You finally got it. 6'4", 310 pounds, only 21 years old. If we look at his 2020 stats, he had a total of 37 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 8 sacks, 6 quarterback hits, and 3 forced fumbles. He is a very good all-around defensive tackle. Now, we'll have to see if he can translate that into the NFL, but having a guy who, with the elite competition that Alabama has, makes you feel comfortable with their transition now heading into the NFL. And the Patriots just don't truly have a guy that is just truly versatile with an interior of the defensive line. You know, I feel like for years we've really either had guys that are good at stopping the run, who can help plug the middle, or you have guys that can rush the passer, but you don't really have guys who are good at both. And Christian Barmore has that potential, underline that, has the potential to be able to be somebody that comes in for New England and can get to the quarterback, can apply pressure, but can also be a big body in the middle that can make some plays behind the line of scrimmage. He's somebody that I think Bill Belichick, but especially Patriots fans, are really going to love. I mean, we all love Dante Hightower because he shows up in big moments, and that's Christian Barmore. He is a beast who elevates his play when it comes to those big moments. When you need a play, he's the guy that shows up. He totaled 12 pressures and 8 stops in the CFP alone. He's somebody that adds finesse to his game. He's somebody that has good arm length, and he's somebody that just has very good hand movement talent. He has many moves that he can use with his hands. He's not someone who, only uses one move, and that's how he relies on getting to the quarterback. Now, of course, there is always concerns with essentially almost every single player that you draft. And while we listed a lot of great things about Christian Barmore, there's always going to be concerns. He did drop to the second for a reason. Why do I think he did drop to the second? Ultimately, again, I do just believe that there was better talent in front of him. I think that there was a bigger need for certain positions. I think teams needed cornerbacks. I think teams needed offensive linemen. There were teams that needed quarterbacks and wide receivers. There wasn't too many teams that needed that interior defensive lineman. Honestly, how many interior defensive linemen have we seen go in this draft so far? And I think that's part of the reason that he dropped. It isn't because he's not a talented guy. It's just the need for him was kind of outplayed by the other talent and needs around him. So one of the biggest concerns, probably my biggest concern with him that I've seen and heard about him is the inconsistencies. Sometimes you're going to hear him. He's going to have a great game. He's going to have some great plays, but then he's going to blend in and you're going to be like, you performed great last week. Where the heck were you this week? So, for example, when he played against Florida and Tennessee, he didn't even tally one single pressure. He also doesn't have a massive amount of tape since he only started in one season. Some people also have concerns that his game was elevated because of what was around him. I mean, the weapons around him on that defensive line truly are stacked, but you know what? Honestly, I feel like that is a draw on every single Alabama player. People said the same thing about Mac Jones. But honestly, I'm also not too concerned with that transitioning for the Patriots because we have a lot of really good players. We vamped up a lot on this defensive line and linebackers. So honestly, I think he's still going to have a lot of really great players that can help elevate his game anyway. Now, essentially, his outlook for 2021, I think, is to be determined. I think it all depends on how he's going to perform in training camp, how fast he's able to pick up, and ultimately how he's going to play. I think that if we have a preseason, it's going to be super important for him to show out. I just could see this being a situation where he doesn't play too much year one. We are pretty stacked there at defensive tackle. I mean, you got Devon Godshaw signed to a 2-year deal. You got Lawrence Guy also signed to a 4-year deal. Dietrich Wise plays a lot within the interior of the defensive line. You sign Henry Anderson. Carl Davis was re-signed. Montrevious Adams. No matter what, Christian Barmore is going to get playing time in 2021. I just think how he performs leading up into the season is going to be telling on how much time he actually gets. And this could also just be a situation where potential injuries could further the amount of snaps he gets, along with, hey, maybe in the beginning of the season he doesn't get as much, and then if he, is performing and excelling better as the season progresses, he just gets more. It seems what Belichick essentially does with rookies a lot of the time. But overall, this is just a steal for the Patriots. I mean, yeah, you had to trade 2 fourth-round picks and your second-round pick in order to trade up about 8 spots. You can make the argument that maybe they gave up a little bit too much, but you're not pushing for the talent. This was a guy that should have went in the first round, but dropped to the second, is the best interior defensive lineman, one of the best linemen just in general in this draft, and this is a excellent fit for the Patriots, and they're getting yet another guy who wants to play for the Patriots. Before we end this video off, though, you guys know I want to talk about the sponsors just real quick of this video. I'm talking about my boys over at betonline.ag. Now, if you don't know BetOnline, BetOnline has the fastest and the easiest ways to bet on all of your sports action. Football is over right now, but NBA, college basketball, and the NHL are a full swing right now. BetOnline even covers awards, TV shows, and reality TV, along with real-time updated odds and props on almost anything you can imagine. BetOnline also has you covered for all of your news, scores, and odds, and it is the best way to place your bets, and it's completely free to sign up. All you guys got to do is head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. That is BetOnline, your online sportsbook experts. Do not sit on the sidelines anymore. Get in with the action. Do not forget to use that promo code CLNS50 to receive a 50% off welcome bonus on your first deposit. Guys, the New England Patriots trade with the Cincinnati Bengals in order to trade up in the second round to acquire defensive tackle Christian Barmore with the 38th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft out of Alabama. What are your guys' thoughts on this? Let me know in the comment section below. Remember to leave a big like on this video. And if you guys want to check out my reaction to this selection, go ahead and check out my recent video. But like always, I appreciate each and every single one of you for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.